Meeting of the Executive Committee of the State Bar Board of Trustees. Today is Thursday, May 18th. It's a few minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for your patience as we got the technology rolling to get started. If I could ask for the roll, please.
Chen? Here. Cisneros?
Here.
Duran?
Here.
Noel?
Here.
Soel?
Present.
Stallings?
Present.
You have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Next on our agenda is a call for public comment. Can you tell me whether we have anybody waiting to speak or indicating a desire to speak before I read the admonitions?
Yes, we have one person who has their hand raised, Michael Sternberg.
Okay. Mr. Sternberg, thank you for joining us. You have figured out how to use the tools to make your desire known. And so as soon as we activate your microphone, you will have 3 minutes to address the board on any item of concern to you and within the subject matter jurisdiction of this committee. Thank you for joining us. If there are others who seek to address the board, indicate your desire to do so by clicking the raise hand function in Zoom. If you are on the telephone, you can do that by pressing *9. Okay, let's get going.
Can you guys hear me? Should I speak?
I can. Thank you, Mr. Sternberg.
Okay. Sorry, normally I get asked to speak. So thank you, committee. Good morning. Thank you for having me. As the chairman noted, I have figured out the systems. I think he's referring to the fact that I have now come to several public comments to discuss my dissatisfaction with the bar's complaint investigation process and misconduct process. Specifically, its refusal to take evidence, its absurdly low file size limitations on the website, its blatant refusal to investigate by abusing its discretion. I've brought up specific examples at prior committee meetings, and I've already started now the chronology of my case, and so that's what I'm going to continue today. This is a family law case, and it relates to the abduction of my children in 2019 from Las Vegas, Nevada by their mother. She was able to resurrect a case in San Jose, California that we had mutually agreed to dismiss in 2012. In fact, we executed the dismissal twice. Unfortunately, both attorneys were so incompetent that that was not completed, and I didn't find it out until 6 years later. My attorney at the time was Michelle Bernot, bar number 186911. Where I last left off the chronology, the children were living with me full-time in Las Vegas, pursuant to a private agreement with mother, because she had gotten a DUI with the kids in the car 2.5 times the legal limit. And that was our new arrangement and our new agreement. Once she reached a plea deal with the El Dorado County, California District Attorney on that, she began scheming behind my back to relocate the children back to California. I know that from financial records through discovery and also from deposition. During the school year of 2018-2019, she hired a California attorney who subbed into the case, and then 2 days later immediately subbed out, probably because he didn't want anything to do with what she was about to attempt. Those substitutions were never served on me, or they were served, but to an incorrect address, not on me. They were mailed to an incorrect address intentionally, so as to not alert me that this case was still active. In March of 2019, she retained Tristan Eichelman, bar number 278981. Despite being retained at that time, he did no investigation into this case to figure out if he was about to participate in any crimes. I know that because he never obtained the court record. I know that because when I later went to go get the court record myself, the court had to go get it out of storage. So he was retained in March of 2019. In May of 2019.
30 seconds left, Mr. Steinberg. I'm sorry to interrupt, just so you know.
I appreciate that. And I look forward to those reminders. Thank you. So on July 7, 2019, the day the kids were due back in Las Vegas after a private agreement for the summertime visitation, they were not returned. Instead, Tristan Eichelman, bar number 278981, wrote me an email essentially blackmailing me, telling me I would not see my kids again until I agreed to change the agreement or that California had jurisdiction. I filed a complaint with him. Scott Karpf, bar number 274682, was the intake attorney. He, of course, abused his discretion, refused to investigate, and closed it out.
Sorry, but your time is up, Mr. Sternberg.
Thank you, Mr. Steinberg. Is there anyone else from the public who wishes to address the committee?
We do not have any additional members of the public.
Okay, we'll move on to the approval of the minutes of the January 19th, 2023 meeting. Are there any questions or corrections, additions to the minutes? Seeing none, may I have a motion to approve as presented?
So moved. Second.
A motion by Stallings and a second by Cisneros. May we have the roll?
Chen,
Yes.
Cisneros,
Aye.
Noel,
Aye.
Zoel,
Aye.
Stallings,
Aye.
Duran.
Aye.
6 ayes, 0 nays, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 3A is the approval of the annual reappointment of state bar members to the Judicial Council of California. This item is presented by our Board Secretary, Luisa Arpetian.
Thank you. Good morning, trustees. This agenda item presents the recommendation for reappointment of 2 state bar members to the Judicial Council of California. The Judicial Council, a state constitutional agency established in 1926, provides policy direction to the courts, the governor, and the legislature. The appointments term for Rachel Hill and Gretchen Nelson is due to expire in September 2023. Each having served 1-year terms, staff requests that the Board Executive Committee recommend to the full Board of Trustees the reappointment of Ms. Hill and Ms. Nelson to a 3-year term commencing on September 14, 2023 and expiring September 14, 2026. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Any questions on this item? Any commentary from the members of the committee? I will offer just, Arnie, please go ahead.
Just a quick question. I have no problems with this item, but I do have a question about the process. And that is, these are state bar appointments. And I just wonder, is there a process that we use to vet or identify our appointments to Judicial Council?
The process typically has been that the Supreme Court really favors having reappointments for continuity. So when members of the Judicial Council express their desire to be reappointed, those reappointments are vetted through the Supreme Court. And once we have their full support, then we bring them forward to the board.
Got it. I think the only thing I would just sort of follow up and just sort of add, and I have no, as I mentioned, no problems with the 2 reappointments, is like to see the board maybe be a little bit more active in this process. These are our appointments. We should make sure that they are, expressing the board's desires and our desires to the Judicial Council, as well as reflecting the diversity and the both racially and regionally here in the state. So we'd just like to see us have a more active role in this process.
Thank you, Trustee Sewell. And sort of related to Trustee Sewell's point is, since these are representatives of the state bar, I'm sure it would be easy enough to arrange a conversation with our representatives as appropriate and needed as items come up in front of the Judicial Council. Certainly, it's a very important arm of the judiciary here in the state. And if there are trustees who would like to have conversations with the representatives, we can certainly look into arranging those conversations either formally here at the board or informally with a subgroup of trustees, all in compliance with the Bagley-Keene Act, of course, Ms. Dovtian. So I offer my personal thanks to our representatives for their work. I know that the work of the Judicial Council is not only meaningful and important, but probably very demanding. And so thank you for your volunteer service to our judicial system and to the state. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
We've got a motion from Knoll and a second from Stallings. May we have the roll, please?
Chen? Cisneros?
Aye.
Noel?
Aye.
Soel?
Aye.
Stallings?
Aye.
Duran.
Aye.
6 ayes, 0 nays, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 3B is the approval to fill a vacancy on the Judicial Nominees Evaluation Committee. This is to discuss an appointment to approve to fill a vacancy and will be presented by Deputy Chief of Programs, Bridget Grammy. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, so as the item mentions, we had an unexpected vacancy on the Jenny Commission of a public member. And working with the leadership of the Jenny Commission, we are recommending that the Executive Committee recommend to the board that we fill that with a woman named Winifred Jin. She is an attorney right now and a retired public defender. She was filling a vacancy for somebody else. So she's completed 1 year of a term and has been a real valued member of the Jenny Commission. And so she's ready and willing and trained to just take over right now. So this is what we're recommending. Because she would be filling a vacancy of a public member, staff is also recommending that when the board do its appointments of the Jenny Commission for the incoming 2024 class, that we appoint 3 public members at that time. So we would have a full slate of 8 public members on the Jenny Commission, and that would help address the temporary reduction in public members for the coming year.
Thank you, Ms. Graham. Any questions for Bridget? Mr. Trustee Stallings.
All right, good morning and thank you. Bridget, I know that we had a lot of discussions on this this topic with the my fellow appointment trustee, Melanie Shelby, and there were concerns that Ms. Shelby had about, you know, not having that full complement of public members. And so could you just briefly lay out for the board just those concerns, and then just how we tried to balance those concerns with plugging in a member of Jenny who can hit the ground running and immediately start to add value to the commission?
Sure. Well, as you know, we've been working on increasing the number of public members on Jenny over the past couple of years, thanks to Ms. Shelby and to you, Mr. Stallings. And the way that the rules are, we only are allowed to have a certain number of public members on Jenny, but we have been working on increasing that number. The reason that we are, we were looking at this, we could appoint another public member now. The reason that we're recommending that we fill it with someone who's ready to continue is that this, rather than filling a partial term, we would be able to appoint a new public member to fill a complete 3-year term. So that would be more beneficial. Plus, those members at the time would be able to be fully trained, go through the orientation, rather than having to kind of individually catch up on their own right now in the middle of a year. So all things considered, and knowing that we have somebody who really has been a very good member of Jenny and very good contributor, that she's willing and ready to continue right now, we think on balance that makes sense, and then we can just make up for it next year.
Any other questions? Okay, reminder, this is an item that will come before the full board, and so there's another opportunity for further discussion at that time. Thank you to trustees Shelby and Stallings for your work, and you, Ms. Grammy,
Sure.
on all the appointments. Okay.
Can I
I think
make the
there's
motion?
resolutions.
What?
We have some resolutions.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, the resolution will include
Okay.
the names. And it looks like Trustee Cisneros is prepared to move that resolution.
So moved?
Stallings.
We have a motion by Cisneros, a second by Stallings for the resolution as shown on the screens. Trustee Chen,
Hey,
please.
just ask a question. The resolution talks about appointing additional public members. Those names are to come. We're not voting on those, right?
Yes, they'll come in July. We'll have a slate for you. Understood. Thanks.
Sort of acknowledgement of really the importance of getting that full complement of public members, which I personally agree with. At a certain point, I'd like to hear about the process for recruiting those members, the outreach that we're making and to whom and where. Obviously not for this, but thank you. Okay, can we have the vote, please?
Chen,
Aye.
Cisneros,
Aye.
Noel,
Aye.
Soel,
Aye.
Stallings,
Aye.
Duran.
Aye.
6 ayes, 0 nays, motion carries.
And of course, this is after the fact, but thank you very much to all the members of the Jenny Commission for the important and valuable work they give to the state. All right, that brings us to the conclusion of the Executive Committee meeting. I will adjourn this meeting and we will take up, I believe it is audit next. Wonderful, thank you.